Today we're reading out of As Bill Sees It, the references to principles and personalities. Michael's going to start out on page 143.
Okay, page 143, AA School of Life. Within AA, I suppose, we shall always quarrel a good bit. Mostly, I think, about how to do the greatest good for the greatest number of drunks. We shall have our childish spats and snits over small questions of money management and who is going to run our groups for the next 6 months. Any bunch of growing children, and that is what we are, would hardly be in character if they did less. These are the growing pains of infancy, and we actually thrive on them. Surmounting such problems in AA's rather rugged school of life is a healthy exercise.
Okay, our next reading is 215. Constructive workouts. There are those in AA whom we call destructive critics. They power drive, they are poll takers, they make accusations to gain their ends, all for the good of AA, of course. But we have learned that these folks need not be really destructive. We ought to listen carefully to what they say. Sometimes they are telling the whole truth, at other times a little truth. If we are within their range, the whole truth, the half-truth, or no truth at all can prove equally unpleasant to us. If they have got the whole truth, or even a little truth, we had better thank them and get on with our respective inventories, admitting we were wrong. If they are talking nonsense, we can ignore it or else try to persuade them. Failing this, we can be sorry they are too sick to listen, and we can try to forget the whole business. There are better means of self-survey and of developing patience than the workouts these usually well-meaning but erratic members so often afford us.
Okay, 224, Leadership in AA. No society can function well without able leadership at all its levels, and AA can be no exception. But we AA sometimes cherish the thought that we can do without much personal leadership at all. We are apt to warp the traditional idea of principles before personalities around to such a point that there would be no personality in leadership whatever. This would imply rather faithless robots trying to please everybody. A leader in AA service is a man or woman who can personally put principles, plans, and policies into such dedicated and effective action that the rest of us naturally want to back him up and help him with his job. When the leadership power drives us badly, we rebel, but when he too meekly becomes an order taker and exercises no judgment of his own, well, he really isn't a leader at all.
Okay. Our final reading on this is 3:12. Tolerance keeps us sober. Honesty with ourselves and with others gets us sober, but it's tolerance that keeps us that way. Experience shows that few alcoholics will long stay away from a group just because they don't like the way it is run. Most return and adjust themselves to whatever conditions they must. Some go to a different group or form a new one. In other words, once an alcoholic fully realizes that he cannot get well alone, he will somehow find a way to get well and stay well in the company of others. It has been that way from the beginning of AA and probably always will be so.